All right, so I've been reading the original Oz books, and I haven't been making videos for every single book because they're pretty short, so I've been getting through them fast. This is the review for books 4, 5, and 6, which I just finished, and it's kind of a mixed bag. When they're good, they're a lot of fun. Otherwise, they kind of are feeling a little repetitive at this point. But the most recent one, book 6, is excellent. So we'll get through these. But book 4 is Dorothy and the Wizard in Oz. And this one, the plot is sort of a nothing plot. There's sort of like adventures that they have along the way. It's very much a traveling to Oz kind of thing. Dorothy comes back, she gets pulled into Oz, and she meets up with the wizard who kind of got lost outside of Oz, and they have a journey back. And the only thing that I really liked about this one is that we get some lore as to sort of what Oz was like before the wizard showed up. We learn about how there was 4 Wicked Witches originally, and then the Wicked Witch of the North and South, Glinda, and then the Unnamed Witch of the North sort of defeated those 2 witches. And the Witch of the North was Mombi, who we met in the second book, Marvelous Land of Oz. And so she used to be the Wicked Witch of the North, and then she was deposed and all that stuff. So that part was interesting, but overall the story was sort of just, we arrive somewhere weird and we meet all kinds of enemies, and then we have to make our way back to Oz. But the enemies weren't super memorable, and I wasn't really grabbed by this one. After that is The Road to Oz. This one I liked a little bit more. This one was another journey, although in this one Dorothy just is sort of wandering around in Kansas and ends up just somehow passing through a portal. Like, okay, sure. And the characters in this one were a lot better. She meets up with some wacky characters, and then they eventually travel through different lands until they get back to Oz in the end. And then we have the 6th one, which is the Emerald City of Oz. And I really liked this one because in this one we've got Dorothy and her family are sort of brought to Oz permanently. Aunt Em and Uncle Henry's house is going to be foreclosed on by the bank, and so she brings them to Oz to live permanently. And all the while you've got the Gnome King and all of his minions who are planning to take over Oz, and they're building a tunnel underneath, and Dorothy and them are kind of going around and settling in. And ultimately they all have to kind of put their heads together and defeat this army that's going to be invading Oz. And this book ends with a very like definite, the story's over, Oz is cut off from the rest of the world now, Dorothy and her family live there, the story's over, done, the end, this is how Oz's story ends. And then of course there's 8 more books, so obviously Baum was pressured to continue. But I really did like this one a lot, and so I'm excited to continue.